Multiple victims are connected to this.
And you know this how?
It's doing this thing. This is where it all started.
Have you always been this good?
You're not in my head. Oh, I'm definitely living rent-free.
Let's get into the most important thing up front, like right at the beginning, which is how the hell did I not know you started your career with a Die Hard movie?
Well, sir, many things that you may not know about me, particularly that I was in 2 Die Hard. I was in the best ones, and I was in one of the worst ones. No, but yeah, man. Back when I was 8, 9 years old, Die Hard with a Vengeance, with Sam Jackson being my uncle, and yeah, it was cool, man. I didn't know the sort of the scale or the scope of the movie that I was in at the time. Clearly, I was a kid, but that was a cool little bit, man. It was awesome. That was the better Die Hard. Well,
I 100%, and it's really cool to be able to say you were in one of those.
Exactly.
Jumping into why I get to talk to you guys. First of all, congratulations. It is not too often a show gets a second season before the first season is even premiered.
Yeah, man. Yes, indeedy. I mean,
how did
you feel when you got the news? Because I had a head start on that.
Yeah, you did have a head. I think actually you told me the news. So I was like, what? That doesn't normally happen, does it?
Yeah.
Blew my mind.
No, man, that is a true testament to, I mean, the cast really put down their best efforts, but our crew's incredible. Our writing staff is incredible. The producers are amazing. And honestly, the leadership of Ben Watkins and his perspective and his vision is really what got us all here today. So I say hats off to that brother, because he really did something historic.
Oh, it's hard to do one season of a television show and no one gets a second season before it premieres. That's very, very rare.
I mean, to tip our hat a little bit, we got the second season before anybody saw a trailer, let alone. Yeah. So it also shows the faith that Amazon really has in us, and that we're tremendously grateful for, because you're right. It doesn't, I mean, we both been in the game a long time. And I think this is the first time in my career. Actually, I can say it is the first time in my career, 35 years, first time this has ever happened.
Man.
Yeah, but a lot of people aren't going to realize, I did not realize until Ben told me, that you've already shot season 2.
Done.
I was like, wait a minute. How did I not? I mean, I'm pretty smart. And I know a lot about TV and movies. I had no idea you had already shot both seasons.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
We got that knocked out. When did we, in August?
No, June, July, August.
Yeah. It was August. Yeah,
it was August.
I'll be paying attention because I was there.
Yeah.
I was actually there. I was working. I was working. Where were you, on vacation?
I
was out in the streets.
Nah,
One of my favorite things about the show is the relationship between the two of you, because it is so rare to see two men have this loving, great relationship in both either movies or television. This shit is not done, and especially between two black men. That's an added bonus. So can you sort of talk about that aspect of the show and just how cool and unusual it is?
Sure. I mean, Ben described the show as there's a love story here, not a romantic love story, but there's a love story, one of a bromance between these two, Sampson and Cross. And so the opportunity presented is to be able to show Sampson in a way that has never been seen or even touched before with any of the narratives. And Sampson's a fan favorite from the books. So we have that opportunity that we can capitalize on, but also the relationship there, talking about the brotherhood, talking about mental health, pushing each other, and, standing in the muck with one another when things are going crazy. This is something that is honest and true for us intercommunally. Like within our community, this is something that's quite common. It just hasn't been exposed or expressed in television in this way. We literally have this dynamic on set, from us to the producers to shoot, my assistant who's sitting right over there, that's the little homie, that's the little bro, Nathan. Like, we all have a communal brotherhood where we hold each other down. We hold each other up and we hold each other down. And the fact that we get to show it in this way gives us a fantastic opportunity to really speak to the audience about the necessities of things that make us thrive, not just live, but to actually thrive as human beings.
I'm
Yeah,
not
we
sure if you'd like
definitely.
to add. Yeah.
Yeah, no, what I was gonna add was I mean, that goes, like I said, that goes even offset, in our own personal lives. Like I remember a moment I had after the first season, a tragedy happened in my family, and one of the first people I talked to about it was this man right here.
Right.
And he was there for me. I mean, and it wasn't something that was manufactured, it was just something that was real. He was just like, hey man, like, if you need somebody to talk to, here I am.
No, I
And
appreciate that, man. Thank you.
and I appreciate the call, man. So
Yeah.
it was just one of those moments where I was like, okay, I'm supposed to be where I'm at right now. Like, in my work life, in my home life, I'm supposed to be around these people that I'm around.
You want to tell them about that time I had bailed you out of jail?
I don't want to talk about the jail time because what I was doing isn't really out there
You don't
right
have to
now.
talk about what you did. Just the fact I bailed you out of jail.
Oh
3
yeah,
times.
he spent his own money to get a
Three
bail bond to get me out of. Wait a second. Now, see, I just implicated myself in some stuff.
It's not my fault. You're out here.
We'll talk about that later. We'll get into that a little bit later.
I mean, it's on tape now. It's on record.
Yeah, I mean, editing, who knows? So, but so in season 1, guys, I guess I'm curious, how does the relationship, and I know you're here to talk about season 1, but I've already seen season 1. So
Steve,
right,
come on, brother.
So how does the relationship sort of, like, what do you build on when you get to season 2? Like, what can you tease?
That's you know what? I'm not allowed to tease anything, but what you asked was a very good question.
Steve, what you doing there, Steve?
If you have any idea like where you're going with that, that is one of the first questions that will be answered in season 2.
Let me ask you this. Let me ask you, since you already asking, since you already seen it first, I suppose that the first season was good enough that it intrigues you to want to know where the relationship is going to go. Okay. Thank you. Okay, now we have that established.
Yeah. Okay.
So you see from the first season that the relationship they have is truth, right? And that they're going to fight it out sometimes. They're going to argue. They're going to disagree. They're going to come together, hold each other down. They're going to surprise each other and support. You see, it's multi-layered. It's up and down. But the through line is always love. The through line is always that brotherhood. And because everybody has their own lane, like, they each have their own traumas that they have to tackle. They each have dark things from their past that are unanswered that they will confront. So we get to see that with Cross. Eventually, we will get to see that with Sampson. I'm not saying what it is or what, I don't know.
We don't know.
We get to really live with both of these characters in their best and their worst moments. And at the end of the day, they always have each other to rely on, regardless of the stakes. And, we get to watch them move through life and tackle these things head on together.
What I can tell you is this: when someone is moving in the wrong direction, a true friend is somebody who will tell you what you're doing wrong and pull you back and put you in the right direction.
Unlike Isaiah, who will let me keep driving down.
Yeah. I'll let him
one time we
eat all the
driving
wrong
somewhere,
things,
and I was supposed to make a left. He said go right.
Yeah.
And then he kept telling me to go right.
Yeah.
And I knew it wasn't right.
That's what UPS
So
does.
that's what had happened.
They just
that's
make
what happened.
continual rights.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's what had happened.
The right is wrong, bro. The right is wrong. So
I'm almost out of time. And this is not a spoiler, but it's a little bit of a spoiler. So in episode 8, I love the fact that the episode is called "You Had Me at Motherfucker," which I find funny, but there's a little bit of a Jerry Maguire element to that episode and the way you guys are talking at each other. When you were filming, did you realize there's a little bit of that? When
I just heard it now, and I'm like, he got a point.
I didn't think so. Yeah, that just landed on me too. Like I didn't think about that.
That's gonna be hashtag though.
Oh man,
hashtag you had me at mother.
Yeah,
because that is the line. That is the line.
Anyway, listen, I got to stop. I'm just going to say sincerely, congrats. And I look forward to talking to you again in a year when season 2 comes out.
Awesome. Thank you, man. Thank you. Appreciate you, brother.